Hi there. I've had some queries about the GPA and how it's calculated. I know it can be a bit confusing for people, so I just thought I'd talk you through it. Just to point out that on the Vet Nursing OSCE Moodle page, there's a worked example up here. So if you click on this link at the top, it opens up this document, which then talks you through how a grade point average or GPA is calculated. If you have your transcript of your results to hand, you can work it out for yourself. But I'm going to talk you through a worked example here now. So if we take your stage 3 modules, I've listed them here in the first column, and then I've put the credit rating for each module after it. So the modules are allocated credits based on how much content is in them. So the 7.5 credit modules contain more work than the 5 credit modules basically. So for each stage of the vet nursing program, it's a 60 credits in total. You can see for stage 3 of vet nursing, the modules that are examined total 52.5 credits, and then you have 5 credits for your internship and 2.5 credits for the vet nursing OSCE. These two modules are pass-fail, so they don't affect your GPA. So your GPA is calculated on the 52.5 credits that go for the modules that are examined with formal exams or assessment. What happens then is basically you're working out what's called a weighted average. So each individual module grade only contributes a proportion of the total GPA. So a few percentage point changes in an individual grade has limited effect on the GPA. So for example, how do you work it out? The formula is here. You take what grade you got in each module and multiply that by the number of credits awarded for that module. So if it's a 5 credit module and you got 60%, you multiply 5 by 60 to give you 300 for that particular module. You add all those numbers together to give you a total, then you divide it by 52.5 credits for stage 3 in vet nursing, and the number that results is your GPA. So if we take an example here, this first worked example, I've put in made up grades here for the students. So let's say they got 65% in anaesthesia, 66 in surgical nursing 1, 76 in pharmacy law and ethics, and so on. Then I've asked Excel to multiply 7.5 by 65, gives me 487.5 for anaesthesia, 495 for surgical nursing, and so on. Okay, total them up together, we get 3572.5. Divide that by 52.5, gives us this student's GPA is 68. Okay, so this student, having aggregated all their credits and percentages in their final exams, their GPA is 68. Okay, so I now want to show you the difference a change in grade makes. So if we take these results here and move them down here to worked example 2, this time I've increased the grade in 2 modules. So in equine nursing, the original grade was 68%. I've brought it up to 70 in a 5 credit module, so that weighting increased from 340 to 350. Likewise, in surgical nursing 2, the grade was 68%, brought it up to 70. This is a 7.5 credit module, so it gives a heavier proportion of the weighting. That number increases from 510 to 525. Our total is now 3597.5. Divide that by 52.5, and the new GPA is 68.5. So you can see that even though we increased the grade by 4 percentage points, 68 to 70 in equine nursing and 68 to 70 in surgical nursing 2, the GPA only increased by 0.5 of a percentage point because it's a weighted average. Individual modules only contribute a proportion of the final grade. Okay. Worked example 3, I've taken the same set of results, and this time I've given the students some quite hefty increases across additional modules. So if you look here, the yellow is still the same as in worked example 2, but I've increased their grade in pharmacy law and ethics from 76 to 80. I've increased the grade in diagnostic imaging from 71 to 75, and I've increased the grade in animal reproduction from 71 to 80. So quite a significant increase there. That increases the GPA by a further 0.6 percentage points to 70.1. Okay, so in this case, we've increased the grades by 17%, which is quite a lot, across 5 modules to give us a further additional increase of GPA by only 0.6 percentage points. So if you go back and look at the first set of grades there, GPA was 68. You can see these are the original scores. you have to bump them up a lot to increase the GPA by just over 2 percentage points. So I think sometimes people underestimate how much weighting an individual module applies to their GPA. Like, let's say you got 58% in a module, and think if I had got 60 in that, my GPA would have increased by 1%. That's actually not the case. It's because it's a weighted average, each individual module only contributes a part of the total figure. The 7.5 credit modules contribute more. So, for example, let's say this person had a bad day in anesthesia and analgesia, and they only got 42% in the exam. You can see that drops the GPA down significantly. So it was 70.1. We change this from 65 to 40, and the GPA now drops to 66.6. So that was a significant change because it's a 5.5 credit module. If I take, say, the PETS module, which is only 5 credits, and knock that grade down from 66 to 40, you can see there's a smaller effect on the GPA. So the module weighting is important in terms of calculating GPA. Hopefully that explains. I think sometimes people think that, you know, 1 or 2 percentage point increases in an individual module will affect your GPA, when in reality it won't. So if you want to check that, you can use your transcript of your own results and set up an Excel sheet like this, where you put the credits in here, your grade in here. Then you can see here I've told Excel multiply what is in B3 by C3, and then repeat that down along here. So I've got B4 by C4, B5 by C5, and so on. Total that, so sum these total, and then divide it by 52.5, and that'll give you your GPA. So hopefully that has helped you to understand how the GPA is calculated and where the number is arrived at. If you have any further queries, you can let me know. Thanks.